For lower tier clubs across Europe, sell-on clauses can provide a vital lifeline in the fight to stay financially secure, and can also give them the boost they need to move on to bigger and better things. Here are 10 players who saved their boyhood clubs after sealing massive transfers. 10. Aymeric Laporte. We kick off our list with the truly remarkable result of Aymeric Laporte's transfer to Manchester City. Little do people know, but the 27-year-old's career all began with tiny French outfit Sporting Union Agen, where he spent 9 years in his youth. By 2010, he had been scouted by Athletic Club in Bilbao, promptly joining their star-producing Lallana youth facility thanks to his grandparents' Basque heritage. Fast forward to January 2018 and he had appeared 222 times for Los Leones, picking up a Spanish Supercopa on the way. Manchester City then came calling, parting with €65 million for his services. Not only was this Athletic Club's record sale at the time, but a stunning turn of fortune for SU Agen, who were stuck in the French 8th tier and staring down the barrel of administration. A training rights compensation agreement with Athletic Club entitled them to 1% of any Laporte sale, meaning €650,000 suddenly arrived on their doorstep. Today, Agen have soared up to the French 5th division, having clearly invested the money wisely. It's far from the biggest fee on our list, but easily one of the most significant. 9. Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof's time as a regular starter at Man United may be over with Raphael Varane's impending arrival, but he can take comfort in remembering how his own move to the Theatre of Dreams transformed the future of his first club, Västerås SK. In 2012, the Swedish centre-back was snapped up by Portuguese giants Benfica for a nominal fee around the €100,000 mark. At the time, the youngster had only been representing Västerås in the lower divisions of Swedish football. Lindelof's spell with Benfica proved hugely successful, claiming 3 straight Portuguese titles and being named in the 2016 Primeira Liga Team of the Year. Man United was suitably impressed, paying €35 million to bring him to Old Trafford the following year. This was music to the ears of Västerås, who were on their knees with bankruptcy looming. Originally believing they were entitled to a 20% sell-on fee, things got ugly as a court battle between Västerås and Benfica ensued, before a payment between €2.5 million and €4.2 million was agreed on. Not quite what the Swedish minnows were hoping for, but plenty to keep them alive. Now 117 years old, Västerås are still going strong, having risen back to the 2nd division. 8. Pedro. Another European minnow saved from the dangers of bankruptcy thanks to a future player sale with Spanish 4th tier side San Isidro, who hit the jackpot when Pedro sealed a €27 million move to Chelsea in 2015. Though it was Barcelona who received the bulk of the fee, San Isidro claimed €375,000 thanks to FIFA's Solidarity Contribution Regulation. This article protects the interest of a side who have been involved in the education and development of a player in their youth, and Pedro spent 8 years with the Canary Islanders before heading to Catalunya. The Spanish winger is by some distance the greatest player to ever emerge from San Isidro, who today have fallen one step lower to the Spanish 5th tier. While their fortunes may have only improved behind the scenes, Pedro has enjoyed an unbelievable career. First came 3 Champions Leagues and 6 La Liga titles with the Blaugrana, before another league title and an FA Cup with Chelsea. And who can forget Spain's victory at the 2010 World Cup? Today, Pedro can still be found scoring goals for Roma, now a weathered veteran at 34. 7. Ollie Watkins. Exeter City have a lot to be thankful for Ollie Watkins' rapid rise to fame. Success with the Grecians in League 2 6 years ago earned Watkins a £1.8 million move to Brentford, where he would score 49 times across the next 3 seasons. But a greater fortune was of course on the horizon. Brentford's defeat to Fulham in the 2019-20 Championship playoff final forced the Bees to reluctantly sell the future England international to Aston Villa for £28 million, with another £5 million agreed in add-ons. This was of course heartbreaking for Brentford, but great news for Exeter, who banked an additional £4 million from the transfer thanks to a 15% sell-on clause. And it couldn't have come at a better time for the 4th tier outfit. With the pandemic stopping supporters from attending matches, causing their financial reserves to be drained, the Watkins cash provided an essential lifeline for the fan-run club. In fact, the money received was almost the equivalent of their entire turnover in 2018-19. And there could be more in the pipeline. If Chelsea ever choose to sell Ethan Ampadu, Exeter will profit from a similar agreement, although considering his relative lack of star quality right now, the money wouldn't be on quite the same scale. 6. Tomas Sochek. The signing of Tomas Sochek from Slavia Prague by West Ham United has rightly been hailed as one of the best pieces of Premier League business in recent years. Costing just €16.2 million in the summer of 2020, the dynamic midfielder had shone on loan with the Hammers for the 6 months prior, emerging from near obscurity to score 3 and put up an impressive 4.3 tackles and interceptions per 90. And his performances didn't slow down once he was a permanent feature in East London. Last season, the Czech international hit double figures in the league and won the most aerial duels of any player as the Hammers roared to European football. Sochek, along with his superb countryman Vladimir Sofal, look right at home among the Premier League's elite. But it's not just West Ham who have benefited from Soucek's success in England. The 26-year-old's boyhood side, FC Slovan Havlíčkův Brod, earned a small fortune from the midfielder's transfer. The Czech fourth-tier side reportedly banked £1.5 million thanks to a 10% sell-on agreement with Slavia, a figure that the club's chairman revealed will keep Slovan comfortably afloat for the next decade. Let's hope they can unearth another Soucek soon. 5. Ben Godfrey. Since gaining promotion with Norwich in 2019, Ben Godfrey has been one of the most consistent young defenders in the Premier League. His performances at Carrow Road earned him a £25 million move to Everton in 2020, and he has since impressed on Merseyside too. And one of the big beneficiaries of the transfer was York City, Godfrey's boyhood club. Having made a name for himself as a midfielder for the Minster men, he was snapped up by Norwich on his 18th birthday back in January 2016, with the fee at the time understood to have been at least £150,000 and potentially rising to £1 million, which, considering the club went on to drop out of the Football League that year, was no doubt needed. And fast forward to 2020, by which time they were battling it out in the National League North, and they received another windfall, this time from his move to Goodison Park. As Godfrey made his first appearance under Carlo Ancelotti, reports in York suggested they were set to receive up to £2.5 million from his sell-on clause. And it couldn't have come at a better time, with the club posting a £1 million loss that year due to Covid, and with their debt standing at over £10 million. 4. Adam Lallana. Growing up in Bournemouth, Adam Lallana initially joined the Cherries as a child, but left for nearby Southampton when he was 12. A highly talented youngster, Lallana's move to the Saints Academy included a 25% sell-on clause, which would eventually help the club out 14 years later. An integral part of a Saints side which dropped down to League One before achieving successive promotions to get back to the Premier League, Lallana was eventually snapped up by Liverpool in 2014 following his second season in the top flight. Bournemouth, who just 6 years earlier had been forced into administration and almost dropped out of the Football League altogether in 2009, received over £6 million of the £25 million fee, and it would prove incredibly useful. Eddie Howe's side were looking to build on a strong season in the Championship, their first campaign back in the second tier since 1990, and had Coventry striker Callum Wilson, who'd netted 21 times in League One the previous campaign, firmly in their sights. The windfall from the Lallana sale gave them the financial means to sign the English striker, and his 20-goal haul the following season fired them to a first ever promotion to the top flight. 3 and 2. Kyle Walker and Harry Maguire. Probably the biggest club on this list, Sheffield United last won a major trophy in 1925, won their only top-flight title back in 1898, while their 9th place finish in the Premier League in 2019-20 was their joint best showing in the English top flight since the 1970s. When they reaped the benefits of Kyle Walker and Harry Maguire's sell-on clauses 3 years earlier, they'd played just one Prem season in the previous 22 years, and had just been promoted to the Championship after a 6-year stay in League One. Walker had made just 7 senior appearances when he was signed by Tottenham as a 19-year-old in 2009, while Harry Maguire had been one of their key players for a number of years by the time he left for Hull City at 21 years of age in 2014. And of course, the success they both enjoyed at those clubs led to bigger moves further down the line, with Walker transferring to Man City for £47.5 million and Maguire heading to Leicester for £17 million in 2017. The Blades received 10% of each fee, with manager Chris Wilder quickly announcing the club would reinvest the money on new players. That summer, John Lundstram and George Baldock were signed, and the following year the club paid its highest fee in over a decade to bring in John Egan, with Ollie Norwood also arriving for £2 million. All four would quickly become key players for Wilder, who subsequently led the Blades to Premier League promotion against the odds in 2019. 1. Frankie De Jong. Frenkie De Jong's €86 million move to Barcelona in 2019 represented the most lucrative transfer for a player leaving Ajax in the club's history, but it wasn't just the Dutch giants who saw that money. Willemsvee and RKC Waalwijk shared the academy that played a role in De Jong's development as a teenager. And when he moved from Willem to the Johan Cruyff Arena for next to nothing in 2015, a 10% sell-on clause was signed which was negotiated to benefit both clubs. He was of course a driving force in Ajax's run to the Champions League semi-finals in 2018-19 and has since become a key player at the Camp Nou, where he continues to develop his world-class credentials, but the effect his transfer had on Waalwijk in particular has arguably been greater. Part of the €4.5 million they received as part of the transfer went on replacing the artificial turf at their stadium with proper grass, and they ended the 2018-19 financial year £3 million in profit. Considering the COVID pandemic hit the following year, this was essential for the club. Willem meanwhile signed midfielder Trezor Ndayishimiye with a fraction of their share of the income, and have since sold him to Genk at a multi-million pound profit. So those were our 10 sell-on clauses that saved small clubs, but can you think of any more examples of this? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a like and of course subscribe to Eurofootball Daily if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, bye for now.